Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested. But I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000.
Immigration. If reelected, Donald Trump has said he's willing to build migrant detention camps and deploy the U.S. military to deport the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. It would be the largest deportation operation in American history. Do you support that plan?
11 million. That's an outdated. That was the number 10 years ago. We're talking upwards of 20, 25, maybe 30 million. Well, there's been almost 10 million.
Marco Rubio just walked into a tough immigration and election interview, and instead of playing defense, he completely flipped the questions back on the interviewer. His answers raised some serious questions about illegal immigration, election integrity, and the double standards in political media. Stay with me because the final exchange is especially revealing. And if you want more straight-up political commentary, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications before we get into it.
Immigration. If reelected, Donald Trump has said he's willing to build migrant detention camps and deploy the U.S. military to deport the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. It would be the largest deportation operation in American history. Do you support that plan?
11 million. That's an outdated. That was the number 10 years ago. We're talking upwards of 20, 25, maybe 30 million. Well, there's been almost 10 million people that have entered this country unlawfully in the last 3 years.
To the question, would you support it?
The number varies big time. I mean, it's another 9 to 10 million people just in the last 3 years. The answer to your question is yes. We cannot absorb 25, 30 million people who entered this country illegally. They're here illegally. What country on earth would tolerate that? We don't even know who most of these people are. They talk about vetting them with what? They're coming from nations that don't even have document systems in many cases. Yes, we are going to have to do something, unfortunately. We're going to have to do something dramatic to remove people from this country that are here illegally, especially people we know nothing about. But 10 million, 11 million, that was the number 15 years ago. Today, it's upwards of probably 25 to 30 million, maybe more.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
Senator, no matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000. Every single one. It's Hillary Clinton.
No Democrat has refused to concede. Hillary Clinton conceded. Senator, will you accept the election results?
Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen from her and that Trump was illegitimate. Kamala Harris agreed.
Marco Rubio faced tough questions about immigration, mass deportations, Donald Trump, election integrity, and whether Americans can trust the political process. But instead of simply defending Republican positions, Rubio turned the conversation around and challenged what he described as a double standard in political media. In this breakdown, we examine Rubio's arguments about illegal immigration, election security, the 2020 election, media coverage, and the importance of applying the same standards to Republicans and Democrats. Watch the full breakdown and share your opinion in the comments.
Senator, we have Democrats now. Senator, she conceded the election. She said that Trump was illegitimate. She said that the election had been stolen. Kamala Harris agreed. By the way, there are Democrats serving in Congress today who in 2004 voted not to certify the Ohio electors because they said those machines had been tampered with. And you have Democrats now saying they won't certify 2024 because Trump is an insurrectionist and ineligible to hold office. So you need to ask them. I think you've had have you ever asked the Democrat this question on your show? I bet you've never asked a Democrat that question. Are Donald Trump's claims undermining Americans' confidence in democracy, given that he has not conceded the last election and he just said in recent days twice that he won Minnesota, Senator?
I think what undermines people's confidence in the election is when you have places like Wisconsin with over 500 illegal drop box locations, when you have places like Georgia where liberal groups are paying people $10 per vote. No, but listen, what undermines elections is when NBC News and every major news outlet in America in 2020 censored the Biden laptop story, which turned out to be true, not Russian misinformation, unprecedented. Only you couldn't even talk about it on social media. They would deplatform you. People look at all this. They look at what happened in Arizona, 200,000 ballots that had the signatures didn't match. People will lose confidence, and it opens the door to this.
I have to jump in here. Senator, you voted to certify the election, and
because at that stage in the process, you have no options.
Senator, you voted to certify the election. Nothing has been censored on this program. Hillary Clinton.
Did you guys
watching this interview? One thing immediately stands out. Marco Rubio was not interested in simply answering the questions on the interviewer's terms. He repeatedly challenged the assumptions behind them and redirected the conversation toward issues he believes the mainstream media often overlooks. The first major issue was immigration. Rubio was asked about Donald Trump's proposal for a massive deportation operation involving millions of undocumented immigrants. Instead of accepting the commonly cited figure of 11 million, Rubio argued that the number is outdated and could be substantially higher. Now, whether you agree with Rubio's estimate or not, this is an important part of the debate. Before Americans can have a serious conversation about immigration policy, they need accurate information about the scale of the problem. Rubio's broader argument was straightforward. A country has the right to control its borders and determine who is legally allowed to remain inside its territory. He also raised concerns about the government's ability to properly identify and vet people entering the country when documentation from their countries of origin may be incomplete. From a conservative perspective, that raises a legitimate national security question. Border enforcement isn't simply about numbers. It's also about knowing who is entering the country, why they're entering, and whether authorities can properly verify their identities. Then the interview shifted toward the 2024 election. Rubio was asked whether he would accept the election results regardless of who won. His answer immediately created another confrontation. Rubio said he would not simply promise to accept an election that he believed was unfair. And this is where the discussion gets interesting. Rubio pushed back against what he viewed as a double standard. He argued that Republicans are frequently questioned about election skepticism, while Democrats, who have previously challenged election results or questioned election procedures, don't always receive the same scrutiny. Now, regardless of your political affiliation, this is an issue worth examining carefully. Election integrity should not be a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. It should be an American issue. If someone believes an election was conducted fairly, they should be able to explain why. If someone believes there were serious irregularities, those allegations should be investigated through evidence and established legal processes. That's where I think the conversation needs to stay. Rubio then brought up